to this stage our Ukraine Koha service and Ukrainian Library Association's representatives. So please come here. Yes, so Liubomyr and Igor, they came from Ukraine, and let me start with this story. I myself from Ukraine, for a long time I was with Perl, many Perl community people knows about me. I was always active to make this conference happen. Then I met with Koha community, then not blah, 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 but you remember I morning told you how I trying to unite our two communities, Koha and Perl communities together, and so on. Beside of this, we grow inside of National Library of Finland with experience and started to play active role in Koha community already 2 years ago, let's say even 3 years ago, we were in Koha QA team and assisting for Jonathan Druart with that release a lot and further. But then in same time, Ukraine has developed own Koha path and started to switch to Koha some libraries, and these guys made switching 60 libraries for now.
Actually,
you can speak any microphone.
Actually, about 25 different institutions, in total 150 branches.
So it's for now, but for that time it was something 60. It's not the matter those numbers, but by our roads intersected, and these guys came to me and to our Koha department in National Library of Finland, where we have 3 Ukrainians, me, Petro, and Slava. They are over here. So to help and to exchange experience and to help to establish more Koha inside Ukraine and so on. And we decided to help and go through. We started to collaborate, and we saw a pretty obvious path how we will exchange experience with Finland, will help for Ukrainian libraries to slowly switch from Koha, from other pre-Koha systems to Koha and so on. But then came 2022, 21st of February, where this war started. And thing is, those things started to happen. So this war destroyed our plans, but we rethought together, and we decided that this war not destroyed, but just slightly complicated and pushed it further, our plans, and we reconsidered to start with this initiative of Ukrainian library restoration and post-war restoration and help. Okay, Ukrainian library help and post-war restoration initiative. This will be worldwide initiative, and we obviously calling you to join this. And this talk, our presence here, presence of these 2 persons, me included, through these days from today and further, we are open to communicate with you, and you already saw this page. So I'm jumping slightly to the end of my talk. So you have this page on our conference site, and you have this web forum link. I call you to join this initiative and propose us how you can help, or just leave us your email if you just tend to help, don't know even how. We will find the way. So now going back to full talk again. So Actually, I can rephrase again what we have, this message we have on site. So our goal is to help Ukrainian libraries to restore from buildings to collections, but also to restore infrastructure after the war and start serving Ukrainians to rebuild the future. We want to establish and launch this initiative now, call you to join. We want to unite and connect worldwide libraries, communities, governments, organizations for this goal. And this how you can join, because you're representing Perl and Koha communities. You have expertise how to build Koha bigger systems, how to use Koha with other systems. You have Perl experience development for Perl people. We will be advertising more what we need and what we think. So it's just, you just join us, we will give a task for you, or we explain what we think. We will put these messages on all our social channels, which we will lead. So also to explain that how Koha and Perl will benefit from this backwards, it's also important to say that it's obviously that this war destroyed the Ukraine a lot, not just libraries, lives. But I think I might be appended with our presenting here Ukrainian embassy officials on this topic, more global. But I want to wrap up that Koha and Perl communities will benefit from helping for Ukrainian Library Restoration Initiative, because we will seek for support from global organizations. We will seek for funding even for software development. But imagine we can build in post-war Ukraine. We are optimistic how this will end, of course. Otherwise, no reason to make this conference at all. But thing is, we will grow in Ukraine Koha team, which we will join to community. We will train Perl developers in Ukraine, which we will join Perl developers community. We will look for support for finance and for grants to develop more Koha and Koha-related things. So this is a direct way how you can just spend a work hours for developing Koha and helping for this to happen and having something back. Moreover, we tend to make everything open source and clear what we are doing. So idea is we will do something for Koha, change Koha or improve tools around Koha, make this open source, and this will be giving back through Ukraine to, again, worldwide Koha community and Perl community as well, because more Perl developers, more Koha products worldwide, better for Perl, better for Koha, it's obvious. So just to step over these slides, I would say that I will provide this link for slides also on our social channels on site page, so you can read this later. But again, so these terrible images, they are representing current physical status of libraries, many libraries which physically destroyed. Also people displaced. We have many families even like disconnected, part of people on as refugees abroad. But we, despite of that, we have IT infrastructure destroyed and need to be rebuilt. So this what we will do, and this restoration and future planning, how we will walk through this and helping for Ukrainian libraries. This is what I'm calling you to join, to track, and to advertise as well outside of this room, because if you have someone whom you think is a pretty powerful person to help and can help, tell us connect us with those persons. So fill those forms, use emails, any possible means to connect with me, and I will be the medium between these things. Now, going back to those slides which prepared by Liubomyr. So those are information how it was. Actually, I think it's pretty visible, so I will just slide more to the software situation which I wanted to tell. For now, in Ukraine, there are many libraries which don't have any automation at all. For now, before the war, many libraries used Russian-made software, IRBIS and MarkSQL, but not Koha, not open source, proprietary, and so on. Many libraries require transition from old systems and data conversion to Koha. This, what we can do, this obviously that these people can do, we will help community around us at what we will organize to help. So those are needs on those slides. And more what backwards Ukrainian can offer and what we plan to do post-war as general as whole main message which located on that page, which you can follow by this link. QR code for you, for those who didn't recognize it. So we have that page on our site as well. That's the main thing what I ask for now. I'm advertising this initiative, declaring people who behind this, and calling you, if you already understand how you can be useful for Ukrainian Libraries Restoration Initiative right now, just follow this button and please leave us your email and explanation how you can help. If you will decide later, this will be kept, this page for you for a while. I will announce it over all social media we have. You will have follow-ups and reminders. And if you have someone, but not you, please help us to advertise this initiative and make it happen.
Andrii, let me know to add some lines about us.
Yes,
so I'll.
Sorry, it's okay. Technical topic. It's too far from you. You can use mic more.
We started our journey with Koha in the end of 2017, and we got a request from Ukrainian Catholic University to install Koha system for their library. We were a web development company, and busy with current projects, we just take a quick look at the website. Okay, it's a web-based system, it runs on Apache, uses MySQL, so no problem, of course we will do. And in 1 month, when we finally signed the contract and started and dive into the project, we realized that it's written on Perl. Oh no, we are not Perl programmers, but anyway, in 4 months we managed to install the system, and library started to work. So again, thanks to the whole community, to the tips and tricks, to the extensive documentation, which really helps, to the blog of Kelly and Jesse, which was very helpful. So that was our first installation, and since that time, with Igor, we organized the separate company, Bibliocenter, which integrates the Koha, and as I told, we already have about 25 installations with a number of branches. But we still experience some difficulties, especially as the first presenter said, there is a change when you install the new software. And we, for example, we had a case when we were teaching some librarians how to work with Koha. One older woman stood up and said, "You know, son, I have been here for 40 years, and I know that paper cards are much better." She just turned around and left the room. But the most impressive was that in 2 months, when she finally get used to work with Koha, she said, "You know, I like your Koha." So it was very nice, but it's an example that changing the old systems and changing the old habits could be difficult. And of course, the help of the whole community, how to make it more useful, more productive, and how to explain librarians that the modern system will give them more advantages and will make their work more productive. It's very helpful. So we really need your help with advices, with some new features. We will try to share our experience and to join Koha community, as Andrii told it. All new features we will develop, we will share with the community as well.
Also, let me introduce for you, we have suddenly and very promptly our very official person here. It's... I can introduce. Please. But you are too much important just to introduce yourself.
I'm not so official now. I tried sort of to look just as an IT community, and this is my view how it should be. But I'm Olga Dibrova, Ukrainian ambassador to Finland. And I would like, thank you. I would like to support my fellow citizens and maybe to say a few words about what in Ukraine we are now fighting for. Maybe it is not needed to explain in Finland what we are confronting, because you have a similar history, and unfortunately it was repeated in Ukraine and it is still ongoing. But one thing that we understood is the importance of education. And education is the backbone, has been a backbone of cooperation between Ukraine and Finland since several years. It related to the reform that Ukrainians are doing in the basic and middle school. But now we see the importance of education in a completely different way, because in our country, we saw what uneducated people who are ignorant, can resort to. And it is awful. It should not exist on the European continent. And we need to win this horror. So I'm a fan of Finnish libraries. Every time I travel around Finland, I always visit a library. And I dream that libraries in Ukraine become such an entertaining venues as they are in Finland, but also the venues that are so easy to use. I was using libraries when I was doing my PhD, then when I was writing articles, etc., etc. And I remember these ladies who think that paper cards are better. But we have a very bright people in Ukraine, really, not only young ones, of different ages. And one thing that is in front of us, that our victory is rebuilding of Ukraine. And rebuilding of Ukraine is not just reconstructing what has been destroyed, but also we see it as the modernization of Ukraine. Building Ukraine as a modern, climate-friendly, green country, and a country which is a full-fledged member of the European Union. You know that we have been granted a status of the candidate country to the EU, and we are fast, so we strive to open negotiations with the European Union already at the end of this year. And without digitalization, moving forward, building Europe together is not possible. So I highly urge you that you combine your efforts with the Ukrainian colleagues. And we are working on promoting education, on finding new ways how to become, smarter, more educated, more innovative. Finland is very much leading this process on the European continent. But you know how we Ukrainians are, and many technologies that for example, such popular programs as Grammarly, these are Ukrainians that are behind these programs, and many others. To make a long story short, we are united in fighting, and we must be united in recovery. We have a lot in common in our history. Now Ukraine and Finland towards each other are incomparably more than we used to be before 2022. And it brings tremendous synergy between our peoples at different levels, between different communities. And I believe we can build up bright projects that would be of use, not only just for Ukraine and Finland, but European-wise and globally. So stand with us until the very joyful end when we celebrate our victory together. Please support my fellow citizens, my colleagues, and thank you very much.
So actually, those pictures telling for themselves, and you hear those words. I want just one big thing what we have now, not Finland and Ukraine only. We have here whole world. We have Canada, New Zealand, Australian people here. So actually, and despite we uniting Perl and Koha communities, which are global, worldwide communities, and this conference happening here, Finland, Ukraine, Europe, but we coming already worldwide. I wanted to also to say one thing which all of you, our dear visitors, had today. You had this Ukrainian Library Restoration Initiative short link with QR code. You had every one of these probably had on your heart. There is a short explanation what this is, and if someone didn't read, please do. No, it's not that I'm trying to just rewrite your minds, but thing is, why this important for me, despite this might be important for some inside Ukraine, those guardian angels, this one particular and every particular on your heart was made by my wife and daughter manually through these last weeks. They made this for you, and as I wrote in this text, same hands which made those in same way, same look, they made same guardian angels, same talismans to give to frontline for Ukrainian soldiers who put them in their pocket under their bulletproof chests, and they nowadays fighting, and it's not a metaphor that the tank said thing, but they fighting holding exactly same symbols in their pockets, in their hearts, in their minds. So this is not just a simple souvenir. Please take it. That's actually all what we have on this topic. Thank you for listening. One thing, we actually will make Perl and Koha conference in Ukraine, so please track our social channels. I hope it will be sooner than later, but anywhere it will be.